Recently, the Sandinista government of Nicaragua sentenced a group of evangelical Christians to prison for 12 to 15 years, in addition to imposing fines totaling nearly $1 billion. The pastors and church workers were involved in a series of crusades held in Nicaragua. Well, joining us with more details is the head of Mountain Gateway Ministries, Pastor Britt Hancock. Who received these sentences and why?
Thank you so much, brother. 11 of our pastors and staff members of our ministry in Nicaragua, Mountain Gateway, were arrested about a month after our last mass evangelism campaign that we had. We had our last one in November, and 30 days after that, they arrested essentially our core leadership, our campaign coordinators and main pastors, put them in prison, held them, and then they ran a trial that, was pretty bogus, on bogus charges of money laundering. And they're in prison today after a pretty bad sentence.
Well, you believe this was a Sandinista kangaroo court. I mean, those sentences are outrageous. Why do you say that?
Well, for one, there's no due process of law. We do have a lawyer in Nicaragua that's attempting to defend them. The lawyer was never given access to the defendants. We haven't talked to them since they were arrested. We've not seen any charging documents. They've charged my son and my daughter-in-law and myself with the same charges. We were never officially notified. We found out through a press release that the Nicaraguan government issued. And so really, there's no due process of law.
Didn't they seize your property? And I also understand charging money laundering. I mean, you guys had reported your finances regularly to them, did you not?
Sure. We had the entire year of 2023. We did 8 mass evangelism campaigns that were open-air campaigns. We had over 1 million people come to those campaigns. And every month we had to turn in a line item budget at the beginning of the month. They would send auditors. Often the government auditors would come into our office, and they would make us go through all the line items, show them the receipts. It's ridiculous that they would say we were not being transparent, that we were hiding things, that we were doing things under the table and that kind of thing. It's just not true. We have lots, hundreds of pages of proof.
Well, it seems that relations between the Nicaraguan government and churches improved a bit. Earlier this year, the Sandinistas released some Catholic priests from prison. They allowed you to hold your mass crusades. So why do you think the turnaround? Why this persecution?
Well, if you know the history of Nicaragua, they've been, especially since 2018, they've been really clamping down on everything. There was a big uprising that happened in 2018. Since then, 3,600, I think the State Department told me, over 3,600 nonprofits, NGOs, not all of them religious, but there were hundreds of religious nonprofits and ministries that have been kicked out of Nicaragua. Often, they would use the charge of money laundering and things like that. This behavior is like long-standing. We have no idea exactly what happened, but we had, in the last campaign that we had in Managua on November the 10th and 11th, we had over 200,000 people in the National Plaza.
Wow, that's amazing.
We had unified. Yeah, it was an extraordinary move of God.
Well, here's something I want to ask you about this extraordinary move of God, because Marxists and communists don't understand that the church grows through the persecution. Tell us about the revival going on right now inside Nicaragua as a result of your crusade and also other events.
To see the gospel proclaimed, there were tens of thousands of people that were healed. A multitude of people responded to the invitation to meet Jesus. And so it was extraordinary. We had 10,000 volunteers working in Managua. We had 1,000 churches that produced those 10,000 volunteers. the weeks leading up to that campaign, we canvassed, neighborhood after neighborhood after neighborhood, door to door. We had 18,000 people pray to receive Christ.
Well, and so
communism just is not okay with that kind of massive unity.
Yeah, I was going to say that. Obviously, the Sandinistas feel threatened by that church growth, but they're creating even more by persecuting the believers. So finally, Britt, what can be done to get them out of prison?
Pray for us and call your congressman, please.
Okay, Britt Hancock, we'll keep praying for these imprisoned Nicaraguan Christians and their families, including 2 young American children, I might add, as their mom and dad are now jailed and away from them. So thank you for being with us. Keep us posted, and may God bless you.